But there's one more thing you should know us for that can help optimize your project's total value, like our comprehensive electronic solutions for security, AV, wireless, and networking, or our specialized job site services, like material staging and kitting, or maybe our logistics specialists who can help you identify efficiencies and ensure just-in-time delivery. So consider what one more thing you may need to optimize your bottom line and get to know us for that. Yep, Graybar does that.
This is the Verizon Extra Innings Show. Verizon, the most reliable 5G in St. Louis.
Nathan Church with one hit. That was a 2 RBI hit last night in this series. The pitch to him. Swing and a miss. This ball game has come to an end. Pagan strikes out the side after giving up a hit to Prieto. And the Reds salvage a game in the 3-game series, beating the Cardinals today 7-4.
Well, unfortunately, that was kind of an apropos way for this game to come to an end this afternoon with a strikeout because Cardinals hitters struck out a lot. It is the Extra Innings Show, and it is presented by Graybar. Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Joe Pott with you here in our KMOX studios, wrapping things up after a 7-4 win by the Reds as they salvage a game in this 3-game series here this afternoon. It was a similar issue that it's been for a while for Andre Pallante. And I mentioned a lot of strikeouts for the Cardinals offense, 15 of them today, 8 by Brady Singer, their starter, and then 3 each by Tony Santillan and Emilio Pagan. Sam Moll got one in there as well, but the Cards strike out a lot. Oliver Marmol likened that to the fact that this was a young lineup trying to do what it can without regulars such as Brendan Donovan and Alec Burleson and Victor Scott II, all injured. Obviously, Nolan Arenado as well. And he sort of kind of brushed it off a little bit, wasn't that upset with it. He was a little bit more serious when it comes to Andre Pallante, and he has said this the last couple of times, but talking about what it takes to, what it looks like to have Pallante keep the spot in the rotation. I don't know if they'll make a change here over the last month of the season, but he did kind of mention that it's going to take some looking to see, what that perhaps looks like. 5 innings from Pallante today. He struck out 6, but he walked 4, and that was certainly an issue, just getting the pitch count up and thus, keeping him in a shorter start here this afternoon. Sam wants to weigh in on Andre Pallante. He's in on our socials. You can do that as well. He says, why is Pallante still starting? He hasn't been good for the last month or so. There is no question, Sam, that he has severely struggled over the last month. That's now his 6th loss in the month of August. His ERA was almost 10 for the month coming into this afternoon. And now, actually, if I have the opportunity, I'll see what I can tell you for that month of August. Now, his ERA in the month alone, it actually dropped just a tad after today. It's down to 8.67. Not that that's good. I'm not saying that's good, but it did drop a little. But it's 6 losses in 6 starts in the month of August. So he is just not giving you much of a chance in his starts. And that's what I think Oliver Marmol was sort of alluding to when he was talking about, what it looks like keeping him in the rotation. And that's certainly been tough. It taxes your bullpen. The bullpen today that was already short. You've got 3 more games coming up here against the A's before you see an off day. So you're going to have to get some length from your starters as you move through the next few days before you get to that Thursday off day. Sonny Gray will go tomorrow. I believe it'll be Sonny Gray, and then let's see, it's Gray and Michaelis and Liberatore. That's your rotation for the A's coming up this week at Busch Stadium. But certainly you need to see some length of some kind from these 3 to save your bullpen, to help your bullpen over this next week or so. You know that you'll likely get some length from Sonny Gray. You hope to maybe get some length from the other 2, Matthew Liberatore and Miles Michaelis. Michaelis has pitched a little better his last couple of times out. Matthew Liberatore still trying to, I think, put things together as he starts, as he works through what is really his first full season as a starter, certainly at the big league level, right? And so they want him to feel what it feels like to be that starter, get all the way to the end of the year. So I think they're watching the innings. I don't think they want to limit the innings per se, but they want to make sure that he goes into the offseason as a starter, has a full offseason after this full season as a starter, because that's how you start to tell, right? He's got the makeup. He's got what it takes. He's been through this season and now an offseason going into 26. You feel like that sets him up better for 2026 if he has a regular full offseason, or I should say a regular full season followed by a regular full offseason. And if you recall, with Matthew Liberatore, they actually stretched out his all-star break a little bit in hopes to kind of push that back to delay really that wall. And he kind of hit it a little bit there at the end of July, but he is starting to lengthen out just a little bit more as well. That is going forward, of course. We can talk about today's game. Certainly, if you want to, we can talk about what this last month of the season looks like. If you want to as well, you can get in by calling 314-436-7900. Easier still is jump on our socials as Sam has done today. We're on there. We're streaming on YouTube, on X, and on Facebook, and you can drop your comment right there and we can talk about it. And Sam adds a congratulations to Jimmy Crooks on his first hit, obviously being a home run. That is certainly nice. I think that is a big deal. Obviously, Cesar Prieto gets his first big league hit as well. It was an infield hit in the ninth. Couldn't have been two opposite ends of the spectrum for the first big league hit for both these guys who are making their first big league start. You got Crooks going nearly 400 feet into right field, and Prieto having an infield spinner up the first base line. But hey, they all count. And as far as anybody is concerned, from here moving forward, Prieto can tell them it was a smash right up the first base line. He doesn't have to elaborate at all. It was a base hit, and that's all that matters. And that first hit is in the books for both of them, and that is good. And I mentioned that yesterday. I talked a little bit about. I think part of what you're doing this last month of the season is you're looking for those positives, right? You're looking for anything positive to take into the offseason that you can perhaps take into 2026. These are two guys that are going to get some opportunities down the stretch. These are two guys that you're going to look at and you're going to see how they handle this opportunity, see how they take these opportunities and run with it. By the way, tomorrow being September 1st, you can look for expanded rosters. We don't know for sure. We had heard going into the series that perhaps Victor Scott would be ready coming out of the series. So into that series with the A's starting tomorrow. So if that's the case, you can bring him on. You don't have to make another move there. And you can bring a couple more on as well, as the rosters can expand to 28 tomorrow. And we'll see what the Cardinals do with that. I was speculating that you'd probably see a pitcher come back up, at least a pitcher come back up, to alleviate some of that pressure on the bullpen, as we mentioned. A little bit light, a little bit short, I should say, over the last couple of days, so you can alleviate some of that pressure as well. So let's see what happens tomorrow. I would expect we'll find out maybe later today, but I think more likely early tomorrow what that looks like. With an early start time, they would probably hope to be able to make that move. They probably know what it is, and those respective players probably know what it is, but at least for us, we'll probably find out what it is coming up a little bit earlier in the day tomorrow as far as what those expanded rosters look like. Let's take a break here. We'll come back in on the Extra Innings Show. We'll continue the conversation. Again, if you want to get in on the Extra Innings Show, we would love to have you. 314-436-7900, or get on our socials and drop a comment right there on the stream, and we'll be able to talk about it. We're coming right back on your home of the Cardinals, Camo X.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we are more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. From startups to established businesses to estate plans, we are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. With offices in Missouri and Illinois, you can conveniently visit us today at sandbergphoenix.com. That's sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
The legendary sound of the Doobie Brothers is rolling into town. Don't miss the show, coming to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater September 4th with special guest, the Coral Reaper Band. It's a night of timeless hits, epic harmonies, and classic rock energy like only the Doobies can deliver. Tickets are still available and can be found at Ticketmaster.com. For more info, head to KMOX.com/events.
There's a big red barn where you save green. Norm's Bargain Barn. On discount windows, doors, and things. Norm's Bargain Barn.
Hi, I'm Norm Wilkie. Come see my new selection of Amish cabinetry made by my good Amish friends at Countrywood Products. We now stock 5 styles of cabinetry for you to choose from.
When you need to save on discount windows, doors, and cabinetry, come to Norm's Bargain Barn with locations in Shiloh and Fenton at the bottom of Gravois Bluffs. Visit normsbargainbarn.com.
That's normsbargainbarn.com.
Winner of the National Edward R. Murrow Award for Breaking News. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, back to the Verizon Extra Innings Show.
3-2 pitch to Jimmy Crooks is a slider, and that's hit in the air to right field, and that's deep, and it's gone! A big fly for Jimmy Crooks. His first hit in the big leagues is a big fly here at Great American Ballpark, and the Cardinals are within 1. A 3-2 pitch, and he hammered it.
We're back in on the Extra Innings Show here on KMOX, the Extra Innings Show presented by Graybar. Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. I'm Joe Pott. Cardinals fall today 7-4 to the Reds in the series finale in Cincinnati. They cannot complete the sweep, but they do win the series, and they'll have Cincinnati back in St. Louis the 15th through the 17th. Steven dropped a couple of comments, but Steven, clarify for us. We're not sure kind of what you're asking there on the stream. So if you have a chance, hit us back up and we'll see if we can't talk about it there. You can drop your comment in as well. A couple more minutes here on the Extra Innings Show. Garland is in, says, great last month to see what young players have. Jordan Walker, oh my, feel bad for him right now. Well, it's a good point. And I think that obviously somebody like Jordan Walker has had a lot of this season that you had hoped to find out more. I think you found out a lot. You had hoped probably for it to be different, and unfortunately it hasn't yet. But this is a very young player still, and I don't think that he is somebody that the Cardinals will be giving up on, and I could be wrong about that only because I don't know yet, exactly what Chaim Bloom is going to do. Right now, Jordan Walker's 23 years old, turned 23 in May, so you still certainly have the time. But to Garland's point, yes, that's exactly what you have over the last 4 weeks of this season, is you want to just get whatever you can, find out. You want to see McGreevy push this thing all the way to the end, right? He has been outstanding for you. He has been wildly consistent as far as his game and what he has done and what he's done in his starts. You would like to continue to see, you would love to see a great month from Jordan Walker. You would like to continue to see increased production, increased offense from Nolan Gorman, and he has a good month to finish it out. You'd like to see that. He's getting all the opportunities, obviously, with no Nolan Arenado in there, and we don't know yet what Arenado. We haven't heard anything except that he might be in St. Louis when the Cardinals come back, but that is not because he's coming back. It is because they want their staff to evaluate him and see where he's at and then talk about what it looks like getting him back to the big league club. You want to see all those things over the last month of the season. There's no question about it. We were looking at the schedule, John Camp and I, in between on one of our last breaks, and the Cards they've got the A's and the Giants here this month or this week. So that's okay. Then you have to go to Seattle and Milwaukee. And it is not going to be an easy stretch right there, certainly. The Mariners are in the third wild card spot. They're still fighting for the West Division. You've got the Brewers, who are running away with the National League Central. And then you come home for your final homestand, Reds and Brewers. Then you go out for the Giants and the Cubs to finish off the regular season. That was a little bit of What's on Deck. What's on Deck is brought to you by Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best, chesterfieldfence.com. Right immediately, what's on deck is that series with the A's that starts tomorrow at 1:15. It is a 12:20 pregame show tomorrow afternoon. Sonny Gray, 12-7 with a 4.19 ERA. against Luis Morales, who is 2-0 with a 1.19 ERA. Gray will make his 7th career start against one of his former employers, that being the Oakland Athletics. See, I know I was going to do it. The A's, the Athletics. He's 2-1 with a 3.38 ERA in those 6 previous starts against the A's. So that's what it looks like coming up. That's what it looks like for this afternoon as the Cards fall to the Reds. 15 strikeouts today, but first big league hits for both Cesar Prieto and for Jimmy Crooks. And Crooks goes for a deep home run in the 7th inning. Leading off, he goes about 400 feet into right field. So congrats to both of them. But the Cards fall 7-4. They're back to 2 games under the 500 mark, and they've got the A's starting a series tomorrow. Big thanks to the voice of the Cardinals, John Rooney, to Rick Horton, and to Ryan Schulte in Cincinnati. Johnny Camp's been behind the board today for us all afternoon, keeping us on time and in line all day today. Matt Pauley will have you back tomorrow as the Cards and the A's get ready to start that series, and I'll talk to you later in the week with the Cards and the Giants. I'm Joe Pott. Appreciate you tuning in and dropping your comments, calling in. We'll talk to you down the road. This is your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
This is Tom Ackerman. Like an MVP candidate, Chesterfield Fence and Deck, one of St. Louis's top names in home improvement.